All right, let's do a breakdown. Max Styler, I know you want to. All right, so we're gonna break down the arrangement. We're gonna map out the development mostly of the hooks and groove, because arrangement is all about the hooks and the groove develop over time. And so we're gonna be paying attention to especially the hook development, and then seeing what hooks are there, when are they presented, and the breaks and the drops, how are they presented, how does the groove develop, when do we high pass, when do we go into breaks, and just looking at the story that's told over the track to keep it interesting, like looking at the automation moves, the lifts, the elevations, the transitions, all that stuff to just understand the principles of arrangement so that we can apply them in our own way, in our own unique and original way, but inspired by what we're hearing. So if you're a producer and you're struggling with arrangement, or if you are wondering, how do I develop my drops? I have my drop, I can't break out of the loop. Well, how do I do a break? Just listen more, right? Just listen. Just do what I'm doing just break down a track. And hopefully what I can do in this video and the other videos like this is give you a language and give you labels and terms and names for things that you might not have otherwise heard or knew were actual things, you know. And so it will give you a way to kind of understand a little bit more, get a little bit more clarity on what's going on in tracks, and hopefully that will help you make better music. So let's get to it. Let's start at the very beginning, go left to right, and let's break down the story of I Know You Want To. Here we go. So this one's just breaks. So one of the things even in the intro, beats, I said breaks. I meant to say beats, but beats just drums, right? It's just like kick, hat, clapped, and then but one of the things you want to think about is getting like something unique, a little bit of an identifier. It's not necessary. I think of even like Chris, like where his intros could not be simpler, which means that every single DJ in the world, even if they were deaf, would be able to mix in a Chris Lake track. But even here, like that little rattle right there, that little white noise splash, another little rattle thingy, little glitchies, that vocal texture in the background, that little clap bomb, a little splash hat. All these little things just like add a little bit of character, a little bit of identity to the track. And so fun to play with that stuff, but let's keep going. So there we go. And next 8 bars. But this is just mixing it for a DJ. A lot of times what you could do is high pass. Doesn't really matter. I mean, a DJ could just take out the low end when they're mixing in a track. Not a big deal. They'd probably automatically take out the low end, some of them, so it wouldn't be a big deal. But if you just want to play it ultra super safe, you could just drop a high pass on through the intro, and that way the DJ has no problems mixing into your track. So, or is not automatically hit with a kick drum out of nowhere, and they're like, God dang it, I look like an idiot. This night is ruined. I suck as a DJ. I'm never playing this track again. That's what you don't want. A little snare roll right there. Or fill. Okay, cool. So now we're starting to get pulled into the bass drop. And so what we'll do is we'll also create like a little kind of arrangement map here. When you're lost in the real world, what do you look for? You look for a map. Where am I? Let's find a map. Same with production. If you feel lost, make a map, just like I'm doing right here. Awesome. So let's color. This is going to be intro. This is like this right here. This map is like a super high level map. This, what we're about to break down, is like, it's a micro map, just mapping out the little things. Or a macro map where you just map out the big things. But this is just like super high level, just arrangement structure that we're going to keep track of at the very top. Okay, so effects, right? So we have effects up. There's really only 3 kinds of effects. You can have effects up. You can have effects. Effects up will signify like we're building tension. We are going somewhere, right? That's what this little riser is telling us. something is going to happen. What's going to happen? We're going to get the bass. Effects down would be like a downshifter and a break or something where we are explicitly settling the energy. Calm down, people, relax, right? And then the accent effect would be like a crash, where you just accent a moment. But those are really the only, everything else is just like details. Like maybe you have a tonal riser, maybe you have a white noise riser, maybe you have an LFO riser. Like they're all going up. They're all communicating the same thing, but you can be creative about it. But they're still saying the same thing. All right, so we have a little bit of a white noise sweep. that one's already kind of creative and crazy too. Like it just opens up fast, high resonance, just chills out up top for a second, and then closes back down. All right, a little bit of an edit, so no kick under this clap right here. And then that little splash hat brings us in, and then what do we get? We get the bass. Gotta love the bass. All right, so bass, don't need the number. Cool. Okay, and then we have that little tom thing that gets added in there. And did the glitches get louder? No, not really. Even that one right there. No, I guess not. But you can see the glitches just keep going. Even that vocal texture in the background. Maybe we could just have like texture track. Although it's going to be hard to keep track of it, I'm definitely going to forget about it. But even if we just have it in the beginning, at least we know, hey, let's create a little bit of a texture, a little bit of a glitchy stuff, so there's like cool things going on. All right, so that's definitely carrying through. So that little tom just plays on the offbeat, then on the downbeat. All right. Cool. And then here we're going to get a little bit of a fill. I'm going to actually keep track of this guy. I feel like he might play an important role, but we'll see. So. All right. Just definitely interacts with the hat. The splash hat there, and that one's playing over here as well. And this is what I call a P4. So a P4 is a punk. So P is short for, so P is short for punk, and punk is short for punctuation points. Definitely could have eased into that a little bit better, but punctuation points are just structural moments in a drop that you can accent because they're exciting. They just give you little hits of dopamine at very, very important parts of the 8 bars. The most important punk is at the end, the 8-bar mark. This is where you'll get like an edit. And an edit is where like you high pass or you take the low end away in some way, but maybe you hit them with a vocal, some kind of exciting thing. The next most important punk would be something at the 4-bar mark. Like right here, we get a little bit of a snare hit and then the splash hat, right? And then less important would be the 2-bar mark and the 6-bar mark. If you keep chunking down beyond the 2 and the 6, you're just doing something every bar, which is totally fine. But what punks do is they allow you to have a little bit of a structure in terms of where to place sounds, little ear candies throughout the drop. And so you can see right away, right here, we're getting this nice little punk at the 4. And we'll probably see this idea of punks develop throughout the track. And if we see it, then I'll definitely bring it up. But again, it's just a very simple way to accent structural moments in the drop. And those structural moments being the 8, the 4, the 2, the 6 in priority, in order of importance. And the thing about punks is it doesn't matter what you do. You probably heard me say this if you've watched other videos. It doesn't matter what you do, just that you do it. Doesn't matter. Like, don't let you just whatever you feel like doing. Like, hey, I want to put like a horse right there. Probably not like, I mean, unless it's cool, unless your track is a horse theme, it just doesn't matter. Just put something there. Okay. One thing that's cool. Hold on. So even the bass right here is kind of playing the 2 and the 6, because that little change up, it's really just a 2-bar pattern, but that 2-bar pattern allows you to have something happen at the 2. So listen to the change in the pattern here. That happens again here at the 4, but that's accented with the P4 like this right here. And then we get that another bass, the change in the bass pattern right here, and then we're going to get probably something at the 8, but let's see. Okay, cool. So he's just steamrolling through. So we're not doing anything fancy right here. Maybe we'll get an entry. Let's see what happens. Yeah. Okay, cool. So something happens. So we don't have anything at the 8, but we definitely have something on the 1, right? So an entry. So let's duplicate this across. This is going to be the bass drop, because this is where the bass drops. You drop the bass. You introduce the full groove character, the drums and the bass. Okay, cool. So... Okay, so I'm going to put that little entry in there. So I'm just going to call it entry for now, because it might play more of a role later on. So it might be like a little tease of a sound that's to come. But then we definitely get a hat lift. So we get a nice 909 hat lift. And so let's pop that guy in. And this is a great thing to do. Like, so far, the arrangement principles here are spot on, even though we are just in the very, very beginning. But when you're in the bass drop, you can think of dividing a bass drop into an A section and a B section. And you can divide really the entire track, every section, into an A section, B section. But in the B section of a bass drop, what you want to do is have what I'll call like a B lift or a B transition. And so the B lift here is the hat. We might get a transition as well, so we'll see. But check, right? Doesn't matter what, only that something's happening. We're getting a lift. There's another lift, vocal, all right? Here's another good arrangement principle, is if you're going to have a lift in the drums, you can ask yourself, hey, what's the corresponding lift for the hooks? There you go. We get a corresponding lift in the hooks, which is a little bit of a vocal chop thing. So there you go. So the corresponding lift is just like if you lift in the hooks, you can lift in the groove. If you lift in the groove, maybe you can lift in the hook too. So that's what's going on here. A little bit of a double lift. So. And that's repeated, of course. Most of the time, you'll have punks get repeated. So once a P4 is established, that becomes kind of like an anchor. It's like a signpost for the listener, and that gets repeated. I hesitate to bring up an exception to the rule, because then an exception to the rule is used as an argument of like, well, they didn't do it. Yeah, but 99% of the time, that's what happens. Yeah, but they didn't, So the exception, though, is like Toxic by Chris Lake, which is a track I recently broke down. That was interesting because they still have punks, but the punks, they change a little bit throughout the track, a little bit more stream of consciousness. The structural moments are still being hit there, but they're with different sounds sometimes. This track, I feel, is going to be a little bit more structured and principled. So here we go. One thing that's cool is if we've been listening, this third one here has a little bit of a delay on it. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to just duplicate this twice and take this third one and just pop it up an octave just so we can clearly see that there's something different about it. But it just has a little delay on it. I think that's really cool. And you know what? You can kind of consider that as part of like a punk cluster. So a cluster would just be many different sounds contributing to an exciting structural moment. And that's exactly what this is, right? We get the snare, we get the open hat, and we get a little delay on the tom there, right? And so from a producer's point of view, like Max Styler's not thinking of punks. I don't think he is. But from a producer's point of view, the reason why someone would feel like they want to do something like this is that this is an exciting moment. And so that exciting moment, like we feel that, right? So we're elevated in kind of the emotional state, and we want that, there's kind of a momentum to that. And so like just having that go back to normal just would feel a little bit boring. And so there's almost like a physics to this where like we want, man, something extra, something a little accent, something a little bit more happening around this. And so you can see naturally how that would lead someone to want to do something right here. It's just because that little jump in energy just carries over a little bit of momentum. And so we just do something extra right there, you know, and then it just goes back down to normal. But you can see the kind of like contour of the energy. It just goes up a little bit and it comes down. It doesn't come down abruptly. It comes down because we have this little delay on that sound, and then it just kind of smooths back down, you see? So there's that. All right. So we'll have a little fuck track, and I just fucked myself on YouTube, but whatever. I'm not making these for YouTube. I'm making these for people who want to learn arrangement. So fuck. Cool. All right. Fuck. All right, cool. So we're going to bring the beats over, but of course this is high pass, and the first thing you do in a break, almost by definition, is give them a break. And that's what we're doing here. The classic way, 99% of the time, maybe 95, you just go into a high pass, right? That's it. So this is, the drums are high pass, the bass is high pass. And the reason why is you want to just keep the groove alive here. You don't want to kill the groove. This is early in the track. It's too early to do anything fancy. Just keep the groove alive. Let the people learn the groove. And so that's why we're high passing, and still letting the drums continue. All right, we're not just pumping the brakes on the energy. DJs would not like that. So, cool. And then we have a little bit of a break entry, a little bit of a vocal texture break entry, and so that's cool. Love that. Very nice. Also a really cool accent kind of effect here. So we're going to do FX accent. Remember, accents, you can do up effects, down effects, accent effects. And this is a cool little LFO accent effect. So we'll pop that guy in there. Kind of a effects entry. So we're starting, I'm just going to call this for now a bass layer. All right. So, because like he's going to do all sorts of crazy things to it. Right. He's doing a lot of stuff. I mean, primarily I'm hearing like phaser stuff going on, and like downsampling throughout the track. So those are the two kinds of things that I'm hearing. And it's that, right? So those are like bit crushing harmonics. So if you just lower the rate of a downsampler, this is not a sound design thing, but I'll just quickly demonstrate it as fast as I possibly can, which apparently is not fast right now. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to look for bass. Where's bass? Bass loops. Cool. It decides that it wants to re-index the drive right now. Come on. Okay, cool. So bass loops. Let's just get something. Okay, I don't care. We're using this one. But, so, for example, actually, Actually, I'm going to take just a little bit more time. Let's go to the packs. I'm going to go to the new kick and bass pack. Where is it? Here, this guy. And let's go to basses and loops. So be a little bit closer. Let's go to offbeat here. Yeah, let's get this one. This one's cool. All right, so we'll get this. And I just want to show you what downsampling sounds like so that when you hear this in the future, you will know. So we'll get Redux here. And if I bring this down, just listen to the harmonics. I'll also get a spectrum analyzer so you can see what's happening. But check it out. Watch, you'll see up here, we're going to get these interesting kind of aliasing artifacts. So. Isn't that just a beautiful sound? Just digital distortion. It's gorgeous. All right, and so that's definitely something that he's doing in there. So I just want to show you that. So I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to go back to arrangement. All right, cool. So let's keep going. So one thing is that hat is still going, but I'm just going to write softer. Right, so turn it down, more compression, who knows, like take away the transients, transient designer, that's getting super fancy, but maybe just turn it down. Okay, tom is not in there. Okay, but this snare fill is. You can hear a tonal riser, so I'm going to write this in here. So tonal, right? Tonal riser, LFO riser, white noise riser. Again, all communicating the same thing. We are going somewhere new. We are going up. It's going to be cool. Pay attention. So that, yeah, it sounds like downsampling. It's probably, it might be something else, but it's very cool. So just something cool and buzzy about it. Could even just be like a sample on high repeats or something, or like a synth that has like a waveform that kind of like the ICANN has kick waveform has this really fast part of the waveform, which creates this buzzy texture. But again, I don't want to get too into the sound design. It's easy to in this track though, because the sound design is a big part of it. But let's just pay attention to how the story is being told. And maybe Mr. Sam Smyers will break it down for us. Okay, so big move, right? So I'm paying attention. Again, it's hard not to want to dive into that, but like let's go to Vox main. So this is going to be the main vocal. The big move here is that female vocal. So coming in, the I know you want to. I know you want to.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Yes, I know I spelled you as in you, not Y. So tonal riser is going.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
So different presentations, different performances. I know you want to, and then I know you want to, like.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
I know you want to. So a little bit more seductive here.
I know you want to.
Fuck. So cool, just variation on the performance there. Just, you know, not necessarily in a conscious way. Maybe it is, but if you just said it 4 different times, like that's going to keep it interesting. But you could get away, like, not variation for the sake of variation, though. I hate that. Like, you could totally also get away with just repeating the same freaking thing over and over. Like in the last track I broke down, Lick It, what the hell is it? Lick by Side Piece. They're just repeating the same shit over and over, right? And it's okay. But there is a little bit of variation here, so it's worth pointing out. But it doesn't mean every single thing should be different. It's not variation for the sake of variation. All right. Let's get back into it. So we need a snare roll for sure. So there we go. And then we need lots of risers. So how do you build tension? Rep, roll, rise, grow. Like dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive. But when it comes to building tension, rep, roll, rise, grow. Hook repetition, snare roll, crash roll, kick roll, whatever roll. Rise, so riser, something is going up, whether that's a tonal riser, white noise riser, or you're opening up the cutoff, and grow the space. Okay. And so we got probably a lot of them going on. Let's check it.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you.
So we got a kick roll. So
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Fuck.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Fuck.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
okay, and that's cool with the bass hanging over the edge there like that. And so we're gonna do LP down. A lot of automation to keep track of here, so this is cool. So we got beats.
I know you want to.
The snare roll is interesting because of the pattern it's playing, and we're gonna map it out. So let's go to 16ths, which we're at. So we're on.
I know you want to. I know you.
So it's kind of just playing on 8th notes right now.
I know you want. I know you want to.
So then butt it up.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Okay, cool.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want. I know you want to.
So look at this, a little bit of call response you can call this, because then here we have ba-da-da, and then here we have ba-da-da-da, right? So that's cool. And just speeding things up because the snare roll is going to pick up over time. So this is what I call a broken snare roll, because it's not playing 16th notes. It's playing a pattern. And so, yeah, so I'm just mapping out the pattern.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Oh, right here, I believe. Let me play from here.
I know you want to.
So we could probably just go like this. Let's just duplicate this.
I know you want to.
See how the pattern picks up right there? That's what I wanted to get to. So,
I know you.
so same thing. So,
I know you want to.
so now it's going ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
I know you want to.
So then now it's starting to basically play 16th notes. So right there.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
See? And so this is just a really good example of just accelerating an accelerating roll. So it starts off with a broken pattern. You can see it starts to pick up towards the end, and then boom, we start to get even faster. So with this, and then even more. So very cool.
I know you want to.
All right, so we have the tonal riser. Let's listen to the risers now and the automation on all this stuff.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
So we have the fill right there.
I know you want to. I know you want.
So it really just, this just kind of grows, just like the cutoff opens, right? And the same thing here. So kind of both of them. Actually, this one not so much. Is more maybe like the decay or release opening. So, and same with this. So decay or release opening. And then we got a lot of different kind of risers going on here. So
I know you want to.
dude, there's also this kind of cool kind of like build entry here. So right here. No, right here.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
So you can hear the panning white noise riser.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Fuck.
Know you want to.
Fuck.
And of course, we get the payoff there. So standard kind of build pattern interrupt. The interesting thing here is the low passing down of the bass. That's also in this track by Burners that is really cool. It's in the hype charts and called Come On. But they have this similar thing where they are doing that also. Let me see if I can pull that up really quick. So in the background, I'm looking for Come On. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. So let's see. Let's go over here. So come on. So this is the top of the build, right? See, same thing. So kind of just moving down on the filter with the payoff. So very similar thing here.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
Okay.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
You hear the delay on the female vocal. That's cool. All right. So this was break one. And break one, what do we want to do? We want to give them a break and we want to present the main thing. And so over here, when we got into the second half, we started presenting the main thing, which is the female vocal, and then that pays off, of course, with the fuck vocal. And then cool. And then other things we want to do in the break besides giving them a break and presenting the main thing is keep the groove alive early on. Another thing is like create a sense of atmosphere. Let me hear. So even this vocal entry, this atmosphere, does that. Immediately a different atmosphere and space than right here. Just feels like it opens up. And then the last thing in the breaks is we want to build tension. You build tension through rep, roll, rise, grow, and we just kind of broke that down. So let's keep going.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
Really cool payoff, by the way. Just that's super cool. Really funny. All right. So beats. Let's go over here. Bass. Okay, so we have the texture. You can hear that. Do we have the texture in the breaks? Doesn't sound like it, so no 909 hat here, see? So this is very similar. But we do have the toms here, so let's bring the toms over. So So I've been calling this the bass layer because when I heard it the first time, like for some reason I thought like, oh man, this is a cool layer that's going on, but it sounds just like a vocal. So I'm going to do like vocal chop. And the vocal chop is a thing that's getting glitched up and moved around and stuff. So I'm going to put that down here now because here you can clearly hear that it is a vocal chop. But this is going to be hook drop 1 because we're putting the hooks over the groove. So similar kind of thing before, like I was mentioning, almost the physics, the excitement of things. You can even hear that bass automation right there at the P4. So I'm going to open up the automation and we'll get a low pass filter. And I'm just going to pretend like we're opening up a low pass filter. So it'll maybe be around like, let's just keep it at 100 and then we'll go up here. Maybe we'll just move this up to like, 500. There we go. So even we can even go like this. Like I'll just be quick about this here, but like so.
Fuck.
So then right here is where it opens up. So let's bring this guy down to 100, and then boom, and then boom.
Fuck.
Like that, something like this.
Fuck.
See this cluster of things happening? That's a really cool example of punks extremely well executed because we're getting this fill here in the drums, we're getting this movement here on the bass, we're getting this little accent here on the vocals. This accent is corresponding with this one because it's a slight variation. This one's just straight eighth notes. Dut, 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 dut. This one has a little bit of a glitch on it. All right, so like a faster delay. Then we're starting to get into the P8, but you can see the structure, right? It's just a drop, and then we get a little bit, this is almost like an entry in a way, very subtle. Then we get the P4. Whoops, that's not right. And then we get the P4, now we're getting the P8 with the female vocal here, so. Oh, that's cool.
I know you want.
Wow. Yeah, that's sick. So that's definitely some like, hold up, just cut it in half. So this is I Know You Want To, and this is just glitchy stuff.
I know you want.
Ooh.
I know you want.
So you can actually hear the, you can actually hear the redux getting automated here. So like you can hear that coming down on the vocal. So
I know you.
That sounds like a downshifter, but is really just the movement down of the aliasing artifacts on a bit crusher.
I know you want.
And then there's just some kind of like beat glitching going on from something like I don't know why it's indexing so much today, but like a beat repeat, stuff like that. Like, but anything like Effectrix, glitch, tantra, all those kinds of things can do this stuff like automatically. So you don't have to piece it up from scratch. It's probably a lot more fun to where the hell is beat repeat? There you go, like something like that. But like even here, I have this thing where it's just like creative things you can throw on, like beat repeat, tantra, Effectrix, glitch. All those things can make those kinds of cool moments happen, So just running audio through those and just like recording it is a lot of fun. You can find some cool things like that.
I know you want.
You see, and just moving it around based on different words and glitches is really cool. So cool. And then the response of that. So
I know you want.
So
know you want. Know you want.
Fuck.
I know you want. I know you want. I know you want.
So there's almost two vocals going on here. I'm not going to map that out, but you can hear she says, I know you want, toot, toot, toot. I know you want, toot, toot, toot. And then there's this layer of glitchiness on it that's separate from that vocal, it sounds like to me. And that's pretty cool. It's still probably triggered by the vocal, but...
I know you want.
And then... Banana. And maybe there is like a layer on here on the bass, like where you're getting some kind of bit crush stuff going on the bass as well. So...
I know you want.
So I'm going to bring back the bass layer, right? Because this isn't perfect. This is about breaking things down. So bass layer, we'll just call it like glitch. I'm just going to keep track of any time I hear stuff like that. And here, I definitely hear, you can hear that bass just open up and get super dirty. And so that's what I'm going to map right there. Okay, so a cool little entry. So a little bit of a banana with some delay on there right here. All right, self-awareness, making sure that we're not stepping on different sounds. So we have that bass entry, and then we have the delayed response, fuck, and delayed not with delay, but it doesn't happen right away, right? It's delayed in time. All right, so obviously the beat continues, and then the bass continues. I don't know why I said that as a question. And bam, we get a hat lift. Same structure as the bass drop. Get the 909 coming back. So this is a delay, a good way to just keep momentum going, because if that was gone, that would feel like things slow down too much, but it's good to keep track of the feeling of momentum in a track, because sometimes just not having that is what makes a track feel slow or boring. And so just paying attention to the energy levels, and like when you drop that fuck right there, like if it didn't have that delay, things would just feel like it was too abrupt and slowing down. Okay, we're getting some up effects coming in here. And since we got the hat lift, guess what else we have? The vocal chop texture that I put over here, but I'm going to call it texture now because we already have another chop over there. Want to? All right, so where's the main? There we go. So we'll just call this female. Okay, and this is like some kind of distortion, right? Oh my God, distortion. Guess where that is? Can you guess? It's at the P4. So we got the fill here, and just kind of like before, we had something else get triggered. Right, that little glitchy thing. Same kind of thing, but now it's more of a main vocal. But you can see the placement. Fill, vocal, fill, vocal. And then do we have any automation on the bass? Yeah, of course. Ooh, we get that cool downshifting thing again through here. But it's not the, okay. But it's not the main vocal. So back here we had the main vocal.
I know you want.
and then the glitchy thing came down on top, right? But here it doesn't. So I think we should separate these. So we'll do like, I'm just going to call this Vox glitch. It might not be on the vocal. I'm going to see how it kind of plays out over time. But yeah, let's see.
Know you want.
So that's the 2 rep. I wrote top rep, 2 rep. So you can see this doesn't sound as intense as it does right here. So here, like you can hear the glitch that's on the vocal, but here you'll hear the glitch that's on the vocal and it sounds like on the bass. See that? It's just, it sounds very, it's somewhere. It doesn't matter. You just got to get the sound, but cool. So we got a little bit of an edit here. So we'll keep track of that. And when you download these, remember, they might not be perfect. I'm trying to get as much as I can in here, but definitely check it out yourself, right? So if you see that I missed like an edit further back, just make it yourself. Cool. But yeah, it's mostly just trying to communicate the arrangement topics as we listen to the story unfold. So hear a little texture in the background coming up. So that's a reverse crash. All right, so now we're going to go into the main break and build. Oh, no, we're not. This is the B section. All right, so we're going to do hook chop 1A. And I'll color this white, and then we're going to go to the B section right here, and I'll color this black. Actually, I think I like doing it reverse. Cool, just like that. Okay. So this is what I call a false start. Some people call it a fake drop. I like calling it a false start because, fake drop might be over here. Maybe this is a fake drop too, but like... If false start is just where you start the bar like without the full what's expected, right? And so what it requires then is some kind of recovery. Sometimes the best recovery though is no recovery, but a recovery is a sound that just triggers everything else coming back in. But this is a false start. So we'll do accent effects here. And we get that vocal texture again. So it's almost like a fake out on this being a break, but it's not. It is still a drop, just with a little bit of a false start. And we have that same LFO kind of thing here. So I'm going to map that guy out because he's kind of cool, and I'll put him up here. So we'll do like LFO's entry like that. And so cool. So we need some high pass beats right here. High pass bass. You can even hear the layer on here. I'm not sure if it's the original and he's just opening up the cutoff, but you can hear right here that kind of really distorted bass. So I'm just going to put that here on the bass layer. Because the bass otherwise sounds pretty clean down there, so. There's your recovery, okay? The wah, that sound. Cool, and so we'll just do like, I'm just gonna call this a recovery. And so probably right there. And there's some delay on it, right? Creating that momentum. Delay. So we still have the 909 hat, but not here, of course. I don't think. Oh, we do. No, it's still there. Okay, let's just. Do we have the toms? Okay, we don't have the toms. Do we have the toms here? Yep. About here. And the delay. So here, of course, we need to bring in, so this is a full, and then we'll bring this down as well. Cool, and then of course we're gonna get that female vocal now playing, so we'll just move this over.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you. I know you. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Cool, let's see if we get the P4 here. Nope. Okay, cool. So here though.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
So you can hear the bass starting to slowly open up. We're not getting, so a little bit of that automation right here. But so no automation there. Okay.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
So again, you can hear that bass, that broken bass. It's easy to think that that might be on the same sound, but it's really not. It's on a different sound. It's on a different channel. That distorted bass. So this is some verb. So this is cutoff and decay automation on the filter because it's open and then both of them close down, so it becomes a little bit more punchy over time here. So let's turn off. Let's go like this. So something like this. So this is that layer right here, and this is definitely on the bass. So this is downsampled down. So what could be happening is there is a there is something like this where you have redux on the bass as a chain. You could do this as your own layer, but you could do something like this. So you do redux on the chain. So you're going to have like a dry chain, and then you have redux here. And what you do is you could put like a high pass filter after redux. And because what happens is the bass will generate harmonics with redux here. And then you could cut out everything else except for those harmonics that you want. And then you could slowly bring that in, and that will bring in the kind of dirtier sound. And so let me just demonstrate this really quick because it's pretty cool. So let's go back to sample packs, and we'll get this one again. And let's go to the bass here, and let's just drop this rack onto there. And so if I just kind of mess around with this for a sec, so you can hear that. So what you could do is I could just like, I guess I'll automate both of these. So let's go here and let's go here. All right. But you could really automate them separately. So if I go like this, you can hear how I'm just bringing in those cool artifacts from Redux, but I'm not ruining the bass because the bass is going clean through the dry signal. And then I'm running a Redux in parallel, but I'm preventing the low harmonics and the rest of the bass from cutting through. And I'm only bringing in really the frequencies that I want through the high pass. So, and just to kind of show you what this looks like. So if I get spectrum analyzer here, if we go up like normal, this will look like a normal bass, right? As soon as I start bringing this down, you're going to see some of that redux coming down, just like we looked at earlier. But as soon as I start getting down, especially to 1K in the mid-range, then this will start to come in from the redux channel as well, but it will also be a little bit more, it'll be crazy distorted from the rate. And so that's kind of what's going on there. So really cool. So anyway, let's keep going. So I'll put this over here because we're over here. See, he's just being careful not to let in any lower harmonics on the bass in here, but the bass is definitely triggering the source sample for triggering those redux harmonics. One thing to note is there's no high pass. I'm sorry, there's no sidechain on this now. So let's see. Okay. Interesting. So he's using the same kind of hollow riser I heard in the licks, the side piece track as well. All right, so he's opening things back up. So breaks it down. And then he opens it back up. So we're going to come over here and call this LPF and decay. So over here in the chain, you can see that. So. And then we have fuck, and then we have delay here. Okay. Cool. Very cool. Yeah. All right, that's great. And then next what we have is got to bring the drums in. So this bass just stays open. It's got that dirty freaking downsampled layer on top of it, which is why it sounds like that. So you got that nice cleaner one, although this one's definitely open in terms of cutoff and decay, but it's this layer on top that's just making it sound super gross and dirty. So and then we're getting that vocal chop with the downsampling stuff as well. So I'm going to put down sample here. And I'm not overlooking that internet. That's a really cool thing that's going on there. Internet. That's really cool. All right, so we're getting a kick roll here. So we'll go like that. We're getting a broken snare roll again. So the delay is going to continue here. So just high feedback. So we have another fuck over here. Cool. And that one's happening on beat this time. So before it was before. So definitely some up effects. We're getting a crash roll as well. So crash roll. Crash roll is psh, 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 psh. Or just lots of crashes like this. So kind of like that. Oh, wow. I think it breaks down to eighth notes here. Let's see. Or maybe not, maybe not. No, I think it's just beats. Let's see. Whoops. And then it cuts. Okay. And then what else? So this is a crash roll. And then we have that slow fuck. So we'll have like a slow fuck.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
So we have lots of fucks here. Giving lots of fucks. And all this shit is just opening up, right? So
I know you want to. I know you want to.
okay, that's cool. So long release.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Then we have
I know you want to.
this. So this is actually really cool because there's a lot of cool things going on here. Let me just state too. So this build right here is basically previewing the bass that's going to come over there. But there's no way you could really fit a vocal over this, especially this one. And so I like that they're building tensions and previewing this over here. And then just breaking down into a fake out. So I call this a fake out. And but then they're giving space for that vocal to kind of play. So I kind of like that. That's really cool.
I know you want to.
So that's break 2. I'll just call this fake out here. So just be fake out, and cool.
I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to. I know you want to.
Fuck.
This is cool. This is really cool. Okay, sweet.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Fuck.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
So with delay,
I know you want to. I know you want to.
now watch as this moves wide, the vocal downsample chop. So goes wide. Why? Why does this go wide? Right now it's pretty much down the middle.
I know you want to.
But listen right here. Watch.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
It has to go wide because the bass is now completely taking over right here, right? So it's good self-awareness in the track, but stereo separation. So you have the bass, the crazy bass down the middle, and you've got the wide vocal. And you can literally hear the intention of that stereo placement when he goes from mono to stereo, right? So just very strategic and thinking about this stuff. So that's very good.
I know you want to.
Fuck. Fuck.
All right. So then we have this kind of reverse.
Fuck.
So let's go to reverse.
Fuck.
And then coming in hot with the hat right away. So this is a great lift or elevation over and above the previous drops, is because, there's a lot of them, because we're going to get the bass glitch layer just super open. So this is going to be open. This is going to be angry. I'm just going to call it angry. And we get the full hat. So like if we listen right here, pretty chill. We listen right here, not chill at all, right? As much energy as you can get from the track right there. So now we're going to put the glitch in here. Why is that looping weird? Let's go like that. Okay, so there we go. And this is going to be wide now, right? Cool. So we have the beat, we have the bass, we have the bass glitch layer. 909 hat, toms. Let me just check right here and make sure there's no toms over here.
I know you want to.
So no toms. Okay, cool. Of course, we get the punk right there. We're gonna get the bass automation opening up a little bit more even. I think it's mostly coming from the angry bass, but I also. But I'll just put the automation here because that's where we have it. You hear that opening up where at the 4? What are we getting also at the 4? The fill. Fill at the 4. We're also getting something on the chop. Do you hear how the delay or the kind of picks up? So it kind of more like rattles. So it could be from a lot of different things, but it happens, right? It happens. Doesn't matter what you do, only that you do it. We have something going on with the drums, the hooks, the bass. It's interesting. So before, every time the hat came in, we would also get the little vocal texture, this thing down here, but that just serves as a lift in the second half of the last drop. So if you listen here, there's no vocal texture, but here we're getting the texture, and I knew I would forget about the drop texture. Let's see. I don't even know what's in. It's almost impossible to hear. Let's see.
I know you want.
So we get accent effects here. And then here's the same distorted I know you want to. So this guy right here, or this girl right here.
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Okay.
I know you want to.
Fuck.
And then we get the final fuck.
Fuck.
Cool. And then we go back down to the normal bass. We can draw that automation down here, so like that. You get a little bit of a spillover on that, on the dirty bass. So no hat, no 909 hat. We still have the toms. We still have the toms. Do we get the fill right here? Let's see. Yep. And we have an edit up here, so this one you're just removing the kick. There's no kick. It's not even a high pass.
Fuck.
So we definitely hear that texture back. So I'll put it over here. It might be playing throughout. Like there's no reason for it not to, but I don't know. It's really hard to hear. Let's see. So right here, there's that clap bomb. Let's see if we can hear that. I mean, it is there. You can hear the clap bomb. So I'll put this in. So let's go hook drop 2 maybe. Let's see. I think I hear it, but who knows?
I know you want to. I know you want to.
Yeah, it's really low, so it's hard to hear, but I think I hear it. Could just be a phantom wanting to hear it, but so again, another little weird bass layer there. I'll just put that there. Texture, fill. And then we just have a low pass on the bass, so we'll just bring that all the way down. So those would be down effects, actually. So effects down. Because we're stepping down, right? It's not accenting an exciting moment. It's signaling the energy dip. So And then we get a nice little high pass. Hey, we'll put an edit right there. Why not? But what I'm interested in is okay, cool. Is the kick getting shorter or something? Anyway, I think I might just be going crazy. But anyway, so cool. There we go. I mean, the coolest thing about this track for me is the sound design. Like, it's just awesome. And then let's go over here. So it's going to be hook drop 2. And the nice thing about this is just like super quick. Like, so this is outro. There we go. And yeah, cool things about this. So, of course, the sound design, like those cool kind of bit crushy, phasey kinds of sounds that are super popular right now. And I think definitely popularized by Max Styler. But I love the simple arrangement. It's perfect HT2 formula. You've got your intro, you've got the bass drop where you introduce the bass character. You take the groove away in the first break and you start to introduce the main thing. One of the good things about the break is introducing an Atmos, and there's just a dedicated Atmos sound right here. That vocal just does so much work. It just opens things up and creates a different vibe in the break. Then we get hit with the main vocal, which is ultimately this funny call response. So we get tease, 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 and then the response. So call, 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 response, in other words.
I know you want to.
Right? I know you want to. And then the payoff, which would just be awesome, amazing in the club or at a festival or on TikTok. And then just the use of opening up the cutoff, very simple on the bass to build a lot of tension as a riser. And then hook drop 1 here, where we just basically go into hook over groove, like just the kind of bass is a hook itself. All right, just little flutters of transitioning to the B section. Get that false start here with that vocal Atmos, so it's kind of a break, kind of a fake break, and then we just bring things back in.
I know you want to.
With the main hook right here. This is what I really like too, is like this build is just stepping down into the bass, knowing that the bass is the hook, messing around with the bit crushing and stuff or whatever he's doing on the bass, and then just making that get out of control to tease what's coming in hook drop 2, just where it's fully open, and then just cutting that, right? So big pattern interrupt, dropping into the vocal to build things up again with the call, 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 and then the response with the ultimate fuck, and then exploding into the drop with the full bass, the full hat here. So the groove is 100%. The bass is all the way open, crazy energy. Just letting that go for 16 bars, the subtlest lift with that vocal texture, but just letting that go for 16 bars, and then just letting the track go out, because that's it. Like once everything's open, I mean, I guess you could do a B section where you settle down, but why? You know, just mix out into the next track, because that's about as exciting as it's going to get right there. So nice kind of crescendo arrangement here with the fake out. Other than that, like that's pretty much it. It's a very simple arrangement structure, but again, the sound design is a lot of fun, and messing around with those things that I showed you hopefully will give you some sound design tips, even though this is primarily an arrangement video. But again, if you have any questions about what we covered here, if you have any comments to add yourself about this track, the breakdown, things that you heard, I'd love to hear that down in the comments. Other than that, I will see you in the next breakdown. Peace.